Bill O'Reilly here, Monday, November 2nd, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. This is happening today in America. Election Day, now less than 24 hours away. 55% say Tuesday will be the most stressful day of their lives. New York imposes mandatory COVID tests for all visitors. Great Britain bringing back a national shutdown. Riots erupting in Europe over new lockdown measures because of the pandemic. Also ahead, who I am voting for and why. But first, early voting now underway in nearly all 50 states. More than 94 million Americans have already cast ballots. Latest polls show a slim lead for Joe Biden nationwide, but tight races in a dozen battleground states. President spending the last day of his campaign in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, states he has to have. Now, tomorrow on this broadcast, I will have some overall predictions. New survey from one poll says a majority of Americans predict Election Day will be the most stressful 24-hour period in their entire lives. 55% report severe anxiety surrounding the vote. A whopping 67% want 2020 to be over with already. 4 in 10 say the campaigns have caused sleepless nights and family feuds. Travelers heading to New York are now required to test for COVID. Governor Cuomo announcing the new rules after national cases of the virus topped 100,000 in a single day. Visitors must prove they are COVID-free within 3 days of arriving in New York or face a $2,000 fine. Authorities in Great Britain imposing a new month-long lockdown for all of the country. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson telling reporters the entire hospital system over there is approaching 100% capacity. Johnson says, quote, unless we act, we could see deaths in this country running at several thousand a day, unquote. Protesters in Spain, Italy, and France clashing with police as the European nations implement stricter shutdown measures. At least 300 people have been arrested across the EU since demonstrations began last week. In a moment, my vote tomorrow. Who will get it and why? Right back. Investors, are you seeking steady cash flow, ready to diversify? Have you considered a proven real estate investment fund? NRIA is one of the nation's leading realty specialists and offers 10% annualized monthly payouts, with bonuses targeted to 21%. That's right, you could receive steady 10% return monthly payments with bonuses. You know, they specialize in realty investing done right. Even use your 401k or IRA to invest. NRIA's 15-year track record and $1.2 billion in new construction development backs you. So learn how you can invest in this hard asset real estate cash flow fund today and receive 10% annualized monthly payouts with bonuses. This is something savvy investors should research and consider. Please call now, 201-210. 2727, 201-210-2727, or visit nria.net.
An offer to buy or sell any security is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. National is a real estate development firm. See us at nria.net.
Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. I have never publicly announced my vote for president. This will be the first time. That's because there is danger in the national air, and it has nothing to do with President Trump. But do the folks feel that danger? Do solid voters who embrace the vast goodness in America understand their country's on a cliff? I don't know. Donald Trump is the reincarnation of Andrew Jackson, a man of impulse and at times colossal callousness. Yet his political strategy is to create opportunities, a lot for himself, but the economic trickle-down effect has definitely helped working people. The rise in wages will almost be impossible to duplicate if Joe Biden wins the election and begins increasing taxes. Having researched and written a book about the president called the United States of Trump, and having known him for more than 3 decades, I well understand why millions of Americans want to fire Donald Trump. What I cannot fathom is the unintended consequences of doing that. It's not as if Teddy Roosevelt is waiting to take over. Joe Biden is a weak man who is fronting a subversive movement that will crush traditional Americans. The signposts are clear. Liberal cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Seattle have collapsed. Quality of life in deep blue states like California, Illinois, and New Jersey drastically declined. Millions of citizens are fleeing dangerous and chaotic places run by radical left politicians. Mr. Biden is not a radical, but his running mate is. Senator Kamala Harris is a vicious due process denier who slapped Biden himself in the face with a racist accusation. Yet he put her on the ticket because of skin color and gender, not because of vision and achievement. Joe Biden looking out for you? The radical left in this country makes the hard right look like the Muppets. This week, Senator Bernie Sanders accused police officers in Philadelphia of murder after they shot a convicted violent criminal dead as the man came at them with a knife. Sanders uttered not a word of criticism toward the hundreds of looters and protesters that injured scores of Philly cops. Joe Biden will do the bidding of Sanders and other far-left zealots. He will stand by as the USA falls into disarray economically, socially, and educationally. He will allow totalitarianism to rise by imitating Pontius Pilate, washing his hands as the cancel culture, corrupt social media barons, and socialist politicians rob Americans of their rights and assets. And that brings us back to Donald Trump. If he wins re-election, he'll continue doing what he does. The tweeting, the feuding, the quest for never-ending approval. But he will not hurt you, your children, and your grandchildren. Biden, Sanders, Harris, Pelosi, Schumer will. They want to impose a new America where centralized federal power dictates your behavior right down to what you can say and how much you're allowed to have. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by writing it. In a moment, something you might not know. How bad is your back, knee, or neck pain? Mine was pretty bad. I played 4 sports when I was younger, and it's catching up with me now. I tried a lot of stuff to manage the pain. Ointments, pain relievers, fish oil, nothing worked. So a doctor friend of mine recommended Omega XL, and here's why. The underlying cause of painful, achy joints and muscles is inflammation. The key to knock down inflammation before it causes damage is backed by 35 years of research, and that's what Omega XL does. The doctor also says, quote, I can't write any prescription that comes close to what Omega XL accomplishes. She was right. So if you're suffering with painful, achy joints and muscles, stop wasting money and switch to Omega XL. Order Omega XL now and get a second bottle free. Visit omegaxl.com/bill, omegaxl.com/bill, or you can call 800-844-4888, 800-844-4888. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. Just 4 years ago, President Trump shocked Democrats and media pundits around the world by defeating Hillary Clinton, winning 304 electoral votes. But his come-from-behind win is considered the second biggest shocker in political history. Number one dates back to 1948, when Harry Truman beat Thomas Dewey. Here's the story. Just before Election Day in November, pollsters thought Dewey had the presidency locked up. Every survey showed the Michigan-born Republican easily defeating Truman. But of course, they were wrong. Thomas Dewey made his name throughout the 1930s prosecuting organized crime. His record got him elected governor of New York in 1942. 2 years later, he won the Republican nomination, but lost to FDR during the final years of World War II. In 1948, Dewey was nominated by the Republicans again. Truman took the White House after the death of FDR in April 1945. The Democrat dropped the atomic bomb and ended the war, but faced significant problems back home, especially a struggling economy that caused the Democrats to lose both houses of Congress in 1946. Truman even faced a presidential primary from members of his own party. Thomas Dewey thought the White House was his. He launched the Boring campaign featuring the slogan, "The future lies ahead, and we are due, D-E-W, for a change." Brilliant, right? On Election Day, Harry Truman pulled off the impossible. He received 303 electoral votes to Dewey's 189, and Truman won the popular vote by 4 million. And here's something else you might not know. The infamous photo of the Chicago Tribune inaccurately proclaiming Dewey defeats Truman wasn't the only newspaper to make that call. A national printers' strike forced some papers to print their morning editions earlier than normal. So similar headlines appeared in New York City, Boston, LA, and Miami. For good luck, Harry Truman brought the Chicago Tribune headline and the entire paper in his briefcase to his inauguration in 1949. Back after this. Jeff Brown is my expert on everything tech, and he's a member of the U.S. Chamber of Digital Commerce. He's been asked to share his expertise with officials at the highest level of our national defense and intelligence communities. Very impressive. Today, Jeff is issuing a special warning to President Trump. He sat down with Tech Minute's Chris Hurt to discuss something shocking that he believes is on the verge of occurring here in America. A second wave that involves the stock market, the election, as well as 5 popular tech darlings that could crash hard. But this doesn't only personally involve Mr. Trump. If you've got money in the market right now, please watch Jeff's interview. Jeff's track record speaks for itself. He's recommended the number 1 S&P stock of 2016, 18, and 19. His subscribers see gains such as 432%, 321%, and more, sometimes in just days. Please watch Jeff's warning at bill5g.com. That's bill5g.com. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.